So it's Valentine's Day, so I thought I'd share the story of how Denvi and I met. So I shared this story earlier today while I was on TikTok Live, but a number of persons didn't get to come on when I started the story. So I was asked to do this story so that you can all get to see it here. All right, so um, my name is Davia and my husband's name is Denvia. And we met in 2012 and we got married in 2013. So within a year of us dating, we got married. So the story started when I was working at a bank as a teller, and he used to come to the bank to do a transaction at least once a month. So when he came, he would, do his business and he would leave, but he would probably just chit chat a bit with me and then he would go. In July, I think in June, I told him, it's easier to actually just open an account rather than you encash your check. So that way you don't have to walk around with all the money and you can spend from it as you go along. So he listened and he said, okay, no problem. Next month when I come, I'll do it. So the July, he came back, and when he came to me again, I said, did you take the stuff to open the account? And he said, yes, I did. So I said, okay, cool, no problem. Just go around to customer service and get the account opened. We continued like that for a little while, just chit-chatting whenever he came into the bank. At that point, it was just another customer until one day he started asking me for my number, which I refused because, I'm thinking customer, whatever. So I wasn't really interested or really paying it any attention. Eventually, he started waiting for me. So like he would come in the line, and if another teller was even free, he would wait on me until I was available and then he would come to me. And as I said, we used to just chit chat. We used to have good conversations, just little conversations because I was working a line. So we moved swiftly because we were trying to get the customers out of the branch. Fast forward to around December of that same year, that's 2012. December 2012, he asked me for my number again, and I told him that I would give it to him for Christmas because we had become a bit more familiar with each other by this. And I told him I would give it to him in Christmas or for Christmas. Right before that, though, in October, because I was born in October, I celebrated my birthday in October, and I was just looking about my driver's license. So one day he came to the bank. So in October, he came to the bank to lodge his check, and I said, I got my license, or I don't remember if I got it or I said I was gonna go pick it up. So he was like, yeah, nice. Maybe you can take me out for your birthday. We could go out and celebrate. So I was like, why would I be taking you out? Shouldn't you be the one taking me out? But anyway, as I said, we used to just enjoy, just talking and laughing and whatever, but it was nothing serious. At the time, I was dating this other guy. Well, we weren't dating, we were talking on the phone. I don't know if you would call it courting. It's somebody I knew from before, and we were just talking on the phone. We weren't meeting up in person or anything. But because I was in the church, I was a Christian at the time, so I was saying I'd recently come back to God because I was a Christian before, then I became a backslider. So I said, I'm not playing around, I'm serious. The next time I'm going to be with somebody, this is it. I don't want any relationship for just a relationship's sake. So when I met Denvia, I was already texting this guy. And he was somewhat serious, like he sounded like he was a much older guy, and he sounded as though he was ready to settle down and everything. And I was thinking, this is what I want because I don't want to be running around. I don't want to be playing any games. I just wanted to do things right, you know, get married, settle down, do whatever. Um, and he had a child, or maybe more than one child, I don't remember, but they were older kids, so it wouldn't have been an issue because I always had this thing that I would never marry a man who had a child before because I didn't want any drama. That's what I always said from I was a little girl. You know, I said I don't want any drama. I don't want any baby mother drama. So if the man is married already, then I'm not interested. No, not married already. If he had any kids already, I'm not interested. Anyways, the time came in December that I gave Denver my number, and I didn't give him off my own volition, so to speak. One of my coworkers encouraged me because I was still not going to give it to him. I was telling him I would give him the following year Christmas. I was saying not this year Christmas, man, next year Christmas. And my coworker was like, give the man your number, man, because it won't love chat and whatever. So give him your number because stood. She was a teller next to me, so she would overhear our interactions and whatever. So she said, give him your number, man. Anyways, I said, okay, fine. Next time him come, I'll give him. So when he came to December, I gave it to him like maybe a week or a little less than a week before Christmas. So I gave him the number. I think I wrote it down on a piece of paper. I don't remember if it was the back of his voucher, and I gave it to him. I'm walking through the town now, Christmas Eve, and I see him, and I said, hey, what's up? Because, you know, you were hounding me for my number. I gave you my number, and you didn't call. What did you want it for? A souvenir? Anyways, he laughed and he said, you don't know, man, I've just been busy. I'm going to call you. So I said, okay, we'll see. He has used this in his version of the story to say that a long time I did want him, but I did just a go on like, which I guess I can't wrong him because in hindsight, the fact that me, I say, how you not call me? It looked like a me instigated, but him did trouble me all this time. Anyways, I'm not gonna get distracted. So, that was Christmas Eve 2012. So that was December 24th, 2012, right? So I went home and minding my own business. At this time, I lived alone. And I used to be pretty lonely and everything. So, you know, I would text my friend and whatever. So anyway, he called me about 8 o'clock that evening. And I told him that, you know, I really couldn't talk now because I needed to go to bed early because the youth used to go out. The youth would go out for Christmas morning at 2 o'clock to sing carols. So we would choose a neighborhood and we would go there and we would just walk and sing Christmas carols. And at the time, I was a part of the executive committee of the youth fellowship. So I wanted to be there, but I kind of had to be there too. So I told him I couldn't talk because I had to go to bed early because I had to wake up for this 2 o'clock appointment, right? And then after that 2 o'clock appointment, we would have carol service at 5 a.m. Candlelight service, not carol service, candlelight service at my church at 5 a.m. So I would be out from 2, and then I would have the event at 5. And then after that, I had to travel back to St. Catherine to go visit my family because I'm originally from St. Catherine, but I was now living in St. Anne. And I didn't tell you, he is from Clarendon. So he's from Clarendon, I'm from St. Catherine, and we were both now living in St. Anne and meeting in St. Anne. So I told him I couldn't talk and whatever because of the schedule of events that I had. Turns out that somehow the conversation continued. Not sure why, not sure how. But we stayed on the phone until maybe about 2 or after 2. Remember, the event was 2 o'clock. So this was from 8 o'clock. I think it was back when we used to have digital free nights. So this was from 8 o'clock the night before, 8 p.m. And I didn't come off the phone until I was ready to start caroling. So I think I stayed on the phone with him to get ready until I left out, until we reached where my friends were, my church brothers and sisters were, for us to go caroling. Anyways, we finally said our goodbyes, and he said he would call me later. And I said, I'm not gonna really be available because the other guy that I used to text, the older guy I told you that was interested in me, he was coming to pick me up in St. Catherine and take me back to St. Anne. So I was gonna take the bus home. At the time, I wasn't driving or anything. So I was gonna take the bus to St. Catherine, and then he'd pick me up and take me back to St. Anne, just so we could spend some time together and whatever. Because we weren't meeting in person or anything. This would be the first time we were meeting up for years. As I said, I knew him before from university days, but we weren't like courting or anything. He was just somebody I knew from school. Anyway, I told him I wouldn't be available because of that situation, and he said okay, he understood. Um, but we did have a good conversation. I can't remember what we talked about. We probably talked about everything because we talk all night, as me said. That would have been 8 to 2 would be 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 6 hours. I don't know what we did talk about. I can't remember. Anyway, I went caroling. Then I went to candlelight service. And then I went to St. Catherine, right? So when I went to St. Catherine, no, while I was there, he called and I took just to check, said he was just checking if I got there okay and everything. And I said, yes, I'm good, whatever. Remember, I tell you that this guy's gonna come pick me up and whatever. So don't call back, I will call you when I can talk. And he said, okay, no problem. I was just checking in. So the guy, we met up and he brought me to St. Anne, and we kind of spent a little time together, but somehow, and somehow I wasn't feeling the kind of connection to him like I felt when we used to text. I don't know if you've ever experienced it where you've been texting somebody and over the phone it feels one way, or when you actually meet up with them in person it's a different kind of feeling. But we just didn't have that kind of chemistry. It was a bit weird and a bit awkward, and I realized that I actually did have a problem with the age difference and all of that. Yes, I wanted to settle down. Yes, I wanted to be married to somebody who was mature enough and was ready to settle down too and all of that. I didn't want to deal with anybody who had kids already, but it just didn't feel right. So after he left, then we called, or I called him. I don't remember who called who, but I know we were talking and I was telling him about it, that honestly, I didn't really like how it went down. I didn't really feel the way I thought I'd have felt, and so on. And because we were pretty open with each other, and as I said, we were talking about like everything. I think we probably spilled the beans on our whole lives within that first conversation. But we were pretty open with each other from the get-go. I think maybe that very night, or maybe like a couple days after, he told me that he had a child, and at the time Nate was 2, so he told me about Nate and everything, because I had told him that I wasn't interested in being with anybody who had a child. So by this time I was honestly starting to like him a bit when he told me. So I don't know if maybe him kind of draw me in first before him tell me, but he did tell me pretty early, because we did kind of just get into things really fast and get deep very fast. Even though we still weren't together, but we kind of just started getting very close very quickly. So as I said, he told me about his son, and by this time I said, not a problem. I would just see where things would go. Maybe within the first week of us meeting, because after I spoke to the other guy, and I told him that honestly, I don't think this is headed where we wanted it to go. I'm very sorry, but I'm not feeling the way that I should feel, and I didn't want to pretend with him or string him along or anything. So we ended on good terms. Um, by this time, and when I say ended, it's not like, as I said, we never like day, which is just a talk. Anyways, by this time now, Denby and I were talking more, and I liked his company, but I still wasn't really ready for a relationship or anything, because especially with what had just happened, I just wanted some time, to make sure I knew what I was doing the next time before I go into anything like that. So I was a Christian, as I said. I'd recently come back into the faith because I recommitted my life to God in 2011, and this was 2012. So this was like roughly a year after. So I just didn't want anything to mess me up. Where in the story am I? Yeah. So he and I were talking, that is, Denver and I were talking, and he was telling me straight up that, honestly, I like you. I really, really like you. In fact, I think I've fallen in love with you, and I don't think I can just be friends with you anymore. So I'm gonna give you some time, and if you fall in love with me too, then we can be together. If not, I don't think I can just be a friend. And I appreciated his honesty, but it did feel a bit um, forced, I would say. But I was like, yeah, he's not gonna actually stop talk to me if me not ready, I think he would have wait. But I just feel like that in a myself. I just feel like, yeah, he would have wait anyway. But I still told him that, no, I'm not ready yet, but let's see. So his exact words were, I'm giving you 2 weeks to fall in love with me, and if you don't, then. So I was like, okay, let's see. People, I didn't need 2 weeks. Maybe within a week, I fell for him because we were talking like every day, every single day we got sent, we were talking. We wanted to see each other. We wanted to be around each other. I would leave work in the evenings and go look for him, or he would leave work in the evenings and come look for me. Weekends we would try to see each other, and it was just kind of like fast forwarding. It was like times two. We were going really fast. Anyways, I said I wasn't going to say anything to him until he asked me back. Um, but then maybe about a week and a half into it, me just tell him, say, yeah, I'm good. I'm there. I think I'm there. So what you want to do? Let's just do it. What you want us to do? So, we kind of just committed to being like boyfriend, girlfriend at that time. At the time, I was in my early 20s. So, it was really nice and all honeymoony, and we were all giddy headed and head over heels for each other and everything. But it was really nice. At the time, we weren't driving. He wasn't driving, I wasn't driving, as in we didn't have a car. So in March, he said, no, from February, he said, let's get a car, because we wanted to see each other more and whatever. You have your driver's license, you're working in the bank, whatever. Let's get a car so we can see each other more and whatever. I'm like, boy, I'm not ready for drive for myself yet, or worse, we go buy no sensible car, because I don't want to scratch up a car and whatever. I'm like, no, don't doubt yourself. We can do it. So in fact, when we did the car, we did our car loan. That was our first car. We bought a 2010 Honda Fit. So it was 3 years old at the time, because this was 2013. So it was a nice car. I still love Fits. So that was our first car. So I had the car and I would drive to work. He was still taking taxi, and I would leave work in the evenings and go by his house, and we would cook together, spend time together. So I would cook, make sure him eat. He would try to cook sometimes, and when he tried to cook, it never so hot, you know. So I had to teach him and bring him up the curve. But eventually he got it. Now he can cook anything. But it wasn't so hot. I remember one particular time he cooked some turkey neck. Tough. Like, me no know, maybe, me not think him did give it 5 minutes good. Because it was so tough. Well, maybe more, but it did tough. But I couldn't eat it. And one time he cook and it did salt. But eventually, as I said, the lessons paid off. But those days, as I say, I used to be a teller, and work used to end at, well, our contractual arrangement, sorry, is that we cannot leave work until 4:45. So I used to just do everything I had to do, because after you balance as a teller, you have evening duties, and I had like 3 or 4 evening duties: filing, checking off night bags, sending off checks, whatever. I had like a number of things. But me, I used to make sure, say, at 4:45, I was ready to go. I was ready and rearing to go, because of course I have my boo figure look for. So I used to just make sure some hurry up and do everything when I do, make sure I'm balanced so I can leave. So by 4:45, I'm my handbag, I go through the door. So I would leave, drive to his house, spend the time with him, and then I would leave from his house, go back to my house. At that time, we were young, we were in love, and hormones were raging and everything. So, and we're Christians, so we tried to not be alone together, especially like at night time. So we would get together, maybe like cook dinner or whatever, but we were actively doing stuff, so that we not just sit down, allow ourselves to get carried away with other things. So we did that for a while. So as I said, this was March. And then I remember the first time I cooked for him at my house, the first time he was coming over and I was cooking for him. I remember that I prepared white rice and banga Mary, and him enjoy him dinner, man. And I remember feeling like I had done the greatest good in the world taking care of this man. Like, I felt fulfilled taking care of him. And I realized, boy, like, I told him that day, I say, I want to take care of you for the rest of your life. I like this. It never made me feel pressured. It never made me feel no way funny. Me never, like, he didn't have to ask me. Like, I just wanted to take care of him. I wanted to do stuff for him. And then whenever we had the time and he was to come look for me, I was just dying. Every time when he would come, I'll probably call him like 10 times, like, you soon come, you soon come, you soon come. So, we kind of got really close, really, really, really close. And one day he said to me, out of the blue, he's like, I want to, it wasn't like a regular, we didn't have a regular proposal, like those planned one, him go down on one knee and whatever. Him just say, I don't want anybody else. I think this is it for me. This is it for me. I just want you. I want to marry you. I think this is it for me. This was, as I said, this was probably like about 4 or 5 months in to our relationship. So I said, people going to think that I'm pregnant, or people going to talk and say we're not there long enough, or nobody will want to marry us. I was finding all the excuses. And then it came to me, that I could talk to somebody. And so I went to I was at work one day, and one of my church sisters came in, and I said it to her, I said, Auntie, things have gotten serious with me and Denver, and I just want some guidance. What do you think I should do, and whatever. And she said, talk to the pastor, see if you guys can get counseling, and take it from there. And so said, so done. We spoke to our pastor. We started counseling maybe like a month or so later, and we did counseling for a couple months, and then we set a date. So we set November 16th, 2013, which was within a year of us first dating and being together. And we started planning our wedding. So I told him what type of rings I liked. We started ring shopping. We told our family that we're getting married. Oh, he had brought me to look for his family in Clarendon, and he had met my family. We met each other's family within like maybe the first or the second month of being together. But I used to do weddings when I used to live in Negril. So I used to work at a hotel in Negril, and I was the wedding coordinator there for a while. So I pretty much had an idea, and I did public relations, I did events planning. So project management has always been my thing. That's eventually what I ended up doing my master's in. So it wasn't hard for me to plan our wedding. It was actually fun planning our wedding. It was a bit stressful sometimes when we thought about the money, but I set a budget and we planned our wedding. We planned how many persons we wanted to be there. We had 40 guests in total because we said we were going over our budget. We're working with a small figure. We had 40 guests. I did the program, I did the invitations. All we did was to go somewhere to print them, but we designed them, did everything ourselves. I used up my little desktop publishing skills that I had gotten from being at Carrie Mac. So we did everything. We found somewhere for the cake, we got our florist, we literally did everything. We planned our entire wedding together. We went and we chose our rings. I showed him what I liked, he showed me what he liked, and we got the rings together. So we did everything together, planned our wedding together, and the rest was history. Before we got married, it was very difficult in terms of maintaining certain standards. Extremely difficult. There were times when I wanted to give up. There were times he was a stronger person. There were probably times I was a stronger person. But eventually, we held each other accountable, and we had our whole church praying for us and supporting us and encouraging us, and our families too. And then that blessed day finally came and we got married, and it was beautiful, it was fun, it was everything. I do have pictures and videos of our wedding day on my TikTok page. If you're not following me on TikTok, you can follow me. It's Davia Neil Forrest, DAVIANEALEFORREST. So you can follow me on TikTok. I do have a lot of videos there, so you can kind of just get to know us and see everything. But November gone made 10 years since we have been married. We now have 3 kids because about a year and a half ago, Nate's mom migrated, and so he ended up living with us. So but I was familiar with him already. I knew him already because he used to spend holidays with us and so on from the get-go. So yeah, we now have 3 children. We're raising our family together. We've built a house together. We have bought houses together. We have heavily invested in each other. It's just a blessing. I can't put it into words, but just a big blessing. That is the best I can put it. We try to make God the center of our marriage. Try to make sure that in whatever things we're doing, He's always at the center or at the fore. We wanted to wait at least 2 years. We wanted to enjoy our marriage by ourselves for a little while before we got children involved, because we knew the stress and the problems that would come with it. And so we waited until our 2nd anniversary. We waited until after we celebrated our 2nd wedding anniversary before we started trying to have kids. DJ, I think I found out, so our anniversary would have been November, and I found out in December that I was pregnant. So that's the December after our 2 years. As I said, we deliberately did things how we did it. DJ was born the August. Um, and then with Deja, it wasn't so clear cut. I had told the Lord that I wanted a son first and then I wanted a daughter. And I also told him that I wanted them 3 years apart. So I said, DJ was born in 2016. So, yes, 2016. And I said I wanted to have another baby in 2019. But then in 2019, I decided to start my master's. And so I said I wasn't going to bother. I was gonna wait until after I finished studying, and that master's should have taken 18 months. So I said I would wait until after. So September 2019 came and I started my master's, and by December, I found out that I was pregnant. So always December may I find out. Yeah, so by December, I found out that I was pregnant, and with our daughter, that's Dejanelle, the movie star, the life of the party, the princess. So that one wasn't so clear cut because I had said I wasn't going to bother, but clearly God did remember when I did tell him before, and he was working on it. Plus, I had told him that I wanted to have my children before I was 30, and I was going to turn 30 in 2019. So I was going to turn 31 in 2019. So I had Deja the same October that I became 31. But before I became 31. So when we talk sometimes we think God not listen, God is very much listening. So that's pretty much it. I don't know if there is more to tell you, but if you do have any questions at all, feel free to drop them in the comments, and make sure you've subscribed to our channel. I am going to try to do more content like this. I have lots of stories to tell. So I'm gonna try to do more videos like this that captures that, both from my side, from mom's side, my sister's side. Hopefully one day, if you've been following me, you know my sister is sick. Hopefully one day we can give the testimony about how God healed her. But I'm trusting God that she will walk again and that she will be restored to her previous situation. But I'm going to try to do more content like this. So if you have not yet started following me, or if you have not yet subscribed, please do so. So it's Forest Family Vlogs on YouTube and Davia Neil Forest on TikTok. All right, that's it. If you have any questions, as I said, drop them in the comments. If you have any particular video suggestions or things you'd like to see or hear more about, drop them in the comments as well, and I will see what I can do. But that's it for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, the whole works. You know, everything that the influencers say and the YouTubers say, everything applies. All right, bye guys. Thanks for watching.